Hello everybody and welcome to yet another episode of Who Knew, the weekly show where we discuss all things pop culture, comic books, movies, TV shows and games and tell you all the things you might not know about them even though you definitely already do. There's plenty to talk about and we're here to bring comic book, movie and TV show news straight to your ear holes as we do every single Monday. I'm Harry, I am horribly ill and in a complete mess with my life because of all the overhanging deadlines I've got. And as always, I'm joined by my esteemed co-host and the first man to podcast from space, Matthew.
I've just realised I'm trapped in a small room with an ill man.
And Annabelle, who hopefully enjoyed her dinner last week.
She did. However, Matt should also be reassured by the fact I'm actually slightly ill as well.
Okay, good.
So you're now stuck in a small room with a very ill man and a slightly ill woman.
Yeah, it's even got the windows to me, like, bang against for people to walk past.
It's like, oh God, let me out.
As the flames and fugue just rise up.
I don't know, I think there's something going round because my flat has kind of just been a mess of one person. I'm the last man standing and I woke up this morning like, oh no.
It's like, oh God, it's happening.
Yeah.
It's happening to me.
I avoid everyone and it still happened. So I guess we'll, as always, jump straight into the news.
Jump ship.
Yes, into the news.
Yeah.
Into the deep blue news. So what have we got this week?
A couple of bits of Brian Fuller news.
Yeah! My fave.
That's the reaction I was hoping for.
It's the reaction you're going to get. Brian Fuller's amazing. I'm totes excited about all of these things.
Yeah.
So yes, Ian McShane is cast in American Gods, and it's exciting. He's going to be Mr. Wednesday.
Ooh,
Isn't
Mr.
that
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funnily enough pretty ironic since we're recording this on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Maybe we're just destined. Exciting news.
Oh.
And then also, pretty damn exciting news for Star Trek is that Eugene Roddenberry, that's his name.
Yeah.
Gene Roddenberry's son is now also working on it, which hopefully he's gonna help with the whole legacy part of the Star Trek. Not that I doubted Brian Fuller. Brian Fuller's great.
Just more faith in the project.
Yeah, it's more faith in the project because you've got the legacy of Gene Roddenberry being brought in, exploration and all of that. It's not going to be like the Star Trek films, where they're very much fighting, everything's at war, generic space action stuff, and not the whole political stuff and exploration stuff and the stuff that makes Star Trek Star Trek.
Yeah. And the Wrath of Khan writer is promising as well.
Yes.
Incredibly promising.
Yeah, that's very promising, so that's quite nice.
That's the Fuller news.
Wow, lots of
Actually, no,
news.
there is more Fuller news. Fuller House is getting a second season.
Oh wow! I'm so happy. It's blessing. That's what it is. It's a true blessing. From
Let's move on before we get bogged down by it.
Blessing from the
Bloody
American
Dave
gods.
Coulier.
Why doesn't John Stamos age?
So I guess another big piece of news this week that everybody seemed excited for is that J.K. Simmons has been cast as Commissioner Gordon in the upcoming Justice League film. And this is J.K. Simmons of previous fame in comic book films as J. Jonah Jameson in Spider-Man.
Who he was pretty perfect for.
You can't, nobody else could play him.
Deny.
It made me do a double take when I saw it. Because I was like, oh, J.K. Simmons. Oh, no, DC?
It's not. Oh, okay. That's it's the association with. He's so completely that character. He's so completely J. Jonah Jameson. I can't do names.
I feel like
names
the only other thing
I
feel like the only other thing that he's done which has brought him into the mainstream is Whiplash.
Yeah, Whiplash.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm happy about it because J.K. Simmons is just. I think he's just great.
I think he'll be really good in it. He's got the physique and the kind of the big mustachy type face that suits a big mustache. Yeah, I think he'll really bring something quite intriguing to the role. It's going to be. I hope we see a little bit of the kind of shouty, outrageous, desk banging,
symbol throwing.
Yeah, I think it will be.
I hope he picks up a symbol and throws it in there.
Throws it.
Were you joking or riddling?
Throws a symbol at him and it hits it. It hits Clark Kent in the face. He turns it over and it just says, "Bring me pictures of Spider-Man."
Oh God. Did you see the Ice Cube rumor that was promptly shot down about him being JJJ?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Quit f***ing with Korean Spider-Man. He's got friendly neighborhood action to do.
So I'm laughing too much at just the thought of it.
We'll just prepare that. We'll work it up. You got it.
With the Daily Bugle, we're about to jump in your ass. Yeah, right up the crack.
Wonderful. Hey, talking about Jump Street, that leads on neatly.
Good segue.
Yeah,
Take that segue.
Taking the segue and running with it. 23 Jump Street and Men in Black.
Men in Black crossover.
Yeah. Crossover.
Because this has been rumoured for a couple of years now.
I think it was in the Sony leaks.
Yeah,
I feel like I read an email.
Yeah, it's been kind of milling around for a long, long while. But the directors are signed on to do the standalone Han Solo film.
Yeah, and they're also doing The Flash.
Yeah, and so they were like, oh, but we kind of need those guys maybe. Channing Tatum was like, I don't think this thing can run 3 times successfully. And Jonah Hill was like, yeah, boy, sign me on. So
like, let's do it. Yeah.
And I was half expecting the jokes at the end of 22 Jump Street to pay off and Seth Rogen to be coming in.
Oh, that would be amazing.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
But,
I just hope that, I just feel like it's a strange thing to be doing 23 Jump Street after the end of 22 Jump Street, where it just made fun of any more sequels. So I thought that neatly tied it up, oh, that's pretty funny, that makes fun of sequels. Oh, they're doing a 23 Jump Street. And they're sort of making it like they did the end credits of 22 Jump Street.
But I think it's so outrageous and outlandish and so different from the kind of cop thing, because Men in Black is so...
Yeah. Well, it is kind of the buddy movie.
Buddy movie, but it's got that sci-fi element, and I think combine that with the undeniable chemistry that Jonah and Channing have on screen. When I first saw this idea quite a long while ago, I was like, yes, make that thing. And now I'm like, yes, making that thing.
I'm curious about it, is what I think, because it's obviously something that's completely out there, and I think if they'd just announced 23 Jump Street, with no crossover or anything with Men in Black, I'd be like, 22 wrapped up. Now it's 23 Jump Street and Men in Black crossover, I'm like, alright, tell me more, go on, because it sounds weird, and I'd want to watch it.
I'm 100% going to watch this.
The doubt, I'm definitely going to watch it. The doubt I've got is the director, just because, I guess, I just love...
Yeah.
The Muppets was a good movie, though. Should we make a Sony segue now?
Sony segue. That
because that's Sony leaked emails. Oh, segueing all over the place. Just
we got so many
not off the side of a mountain like the guy who invented the Segway.
The Venom movie, which is apparently going ahead.
Which seems, for want of a better word, stupid.
I'm worried because Avi Arad, who is nothing good. He basically brought in Mark Webb for the Amazing Spider-Man movies because he knew that he could claim authority over it.
Well, either that,
and he has a spider-based name. Yeah, this seems ridiculous because from what I've read, they seem to be saying it's not going to take place in the Spider-Man universe that has been recently already rebooted. They're going to set up another universe.
Oh, it's not going to use any of the Marvel Studios stuff.
Yeah, and I believe it's going to be without Spider-Man. So it's just my big thing is how are they going to explain the big spider-like emblem on his bloody chest?
In my country,
he's not Spider-Man. He's nothing like that. This big spidery looking thing, it stands for hope, and also not spiders, Spider-Man. I'm not associated with that non-universe character.
Please sign the waiver.
Oh, goodness.
And it's... Oh man, it seems again to have come off the back of Deadpool with these R-rated films, and Sony have gone, quick guys, what R-rated properties have we got that we can squeeze out for? Well, and they're like Carnage, and they're like, no.
He's too violent.
Yeah, too violent.
Too much for an R-rated film.
I'm not sure everybody knows who that is. So, Venom. Oh, what about Spider-Man? No.
I think the reason why they haven't attached Spider-Man to it is because if they fuck up Venom, then they'd have to reboot Spider-Man again.
Yeah.
So they're just distancing it like, no, if we fucked that up, then we can at least keep this one.
Yeah. But I think what they need to do is just go, get up, hands off, hands and feet to yourself. Go and work on the Smurf sequel, alright?
Go and work on pleasing the children.
We've got the big boys on this stuff now. Yeah. You don't need to touch it, okay? Just stop.
How do we feel about the Zendaya news?
Oh yeah, she's been cast as something in the Spider-Man reboot.
Michelle's got to be a code name.
Oh, 100%. It's definitely, because it's no character I've ever heard of in Spider-Man, so...
It's got to be hiding, concealing.
It's going to be someone. They'll probably...
It's going to be someone.
I don't know.
That's good.
It could be.
Specific.
It could be any number of people.
It won't be MJ. It won't be Gwen. It'll be like one of the earlier relationships.
Yeah, like I forget the name of her, but she's a person in his class.
It's like Brandt or something.
Betty Brandt, is that it?
That probably sounds right. I was thinking Betsy Brandt, but she's in Breaking Bad.
It's something because
So
we all
all of the
know
persons
Marvel's
thing.
penchant for alliterated names. Bruce Banner, Stephen
Yep.
Strange,
All of those nice little
Pepper
fitting
Potts,
names.
Yeah.
all of that good
Yep.
stuff. Peter Parker.
Peter Parker picked a Pepper Potts.
Oh
Ta-da.
dear.
I think you find he got rebooted. It's actually his parents that picked the Pepper Potts.
Yeah, I reckon it's going to be a code name. I don't know who it could be, but yeah, there's really been relatively little on that front, so we can only at this point speculate what they might be. I had a theory, but I've clean forgotten it. So
That's a good.
it's
yeah.
great
development.
theory. Well done, Harry.
So the Game of Thrones trailer came out. A ton of stuff's happening. I don't know enough about. Basically, I have no idea what was happening. It's not written,
No.
so
Good.
it looks pretty interesting.
I feel like the big thing that happened
Yeah.
at the end of last season. I feel like they're hinting at it too much.
What, hinting at things happening with that?
Yeah. Also, I think if you pause it at the right moment, you can.
Yeah, you can see it.
Yeah.
I mean, I won't give any spoilers if anyone's not knowing the theory.
Should have read the
I'm pretty
books,
sure-
fools. Should have built a time machine.
Should have built a time machine. And, oh goodness, that's so long. Even I haven't gone through all of them yet. So the standout bits for me are Cersei saying basically violence, let's get happening, and there's some hype on the internet for Clegane Bowl, which I will not elaborate on.
That's just a meme to me at this point.
That's just a meme at this point. Clegane Bowl,
I've got no idea.
good on the hype train.
All I know is like the second an idea of a conflict comes up anywhere, it's like Clegan Bowl 2016 confirmed.
We've got it. Yay! Violence. Is it? Ah! That's someone fighting. I mean, one of them's a woman, but sure. Like, it's that, and mainly also it's Sir Davos being a badass.
Yeah. See the man with the sword
He is the man who does not often fight. He is
going to fight.
the Onion Man. He's gonna go do things. I love Sir Davos. He's great. So I'm pretty happy he's getting to do things.
Back to Daredevil.
Sorry,
yes, Daredevil again.
Off-
More Daredevil news.
Punisher's just got a goddamn minigun.
Yes, in that there was a picture posted online of some billboards in Toronto, I believe, showcasing the costumes for the 3 central characters. So Punisher has a minigun.
And
it
the skull.
also looks like the skull is on him, which is something I was hoping they would do, and they certainly have. Daredevil's suit looks bloody badass, mate, with all the panels and stuff.
It's better than last season. I feel like it's a new one, isn't it?
I
Or
believe
Maybe it's just lighting.
This is what I'm thinking. I think the last one wasn't shown too much, so it could be a new suit, but they could just not acknowledge it and have just tweaked any complaints. Like, I know the cowl has been tweaked from last series.
Yeah, little changes to make it.
Yeah, and then Elektra looks pretty cool with her.
It's not a normal costume, but her new normal costume doesn't look that like it's iconic, but it's probably not the best thing.
Yeah, so
It doesn't like it's too bright. I feel like
It's a little
for
too cartoony
done.
for Daredevil. I
Yeah.
suppose.
yeah, because it's all about gritty real world realisms. So
There's a reason Luke Cage isn't wearing the tiara.
Yeah, but she looks pretty cool. She's got a bloody
Size.
Raphael Ninja Turtle thingies, the size, because she's so depressed, just sighing all the time. Other Marvel news is that the runtime for Civil War has officially been announced at 2 hours 27 minutes. So that's a hecka long time to watch
longest
superheroes
time.
slugging it out, but I'm looking forward to it.
I imagine it's going to be quite
It's pretty dense.
fit a
Because
good amount. It's a
if
pretty
there's one
big
film
thing.
I wanted to hear that had a long run time, it was going to be this.
Yeah.
So, and I have
this has got a
faith
lot
that
to
they
it.
can pull it off.
It's strange how you compare the massively long runtime of Batman vs Superman and the massively long runtime of Civil War. And Batman vs Superman should theoretically be one superhero versus one superhero. I say theoretically because it isn't. Civil War is multiple superheroes versus multiple superheroes and all these different connections and things. To me, it just seems like Civil War justifies the long runtime, whereas Batman vs Superman has justified the long runtime by adding in more things that it probably does.
That needn't be there. So, last piece of news: Ghostbusters.
Now I can do the
as everybody on the internet has said.
Yeah.
Ooh, has there been some backlash to this? For those of you who don't know, the famed Ghostbusters franchise of Bill Murray, Harold Ramis, Dan Aykroyd, and the other one.
We've picked the wrong person to forget, haven't we?
Forgot his name.
Is it Eddie?
Eddie Murphy.
Hang on,
there's no coming back from this.
I'm looking it up.
Quick.
Quick.
IMDb. No.
Okay.
Oh God.
Oh God. It's
Go.
Okay, go. No, 2016.
No, that one.
I clicked on the wrong one.
Clicked on the wrong black man.
I clicked Leslie Jones.
Oh goodness.
Disaster in the studio.
Terrible.
Ernie Hudson.
There we go. Ernie Hudson. 3 scientists and 1 blue-collar worker go out and bust some ghosts, because busting makes them feel good. There's been a reboot which has been discussed for some time, and we finally saw the first trailer. It's an all-female reboot headed by Paul Feig of Bridesmaid fame. We had the first trailer released last week on the 3rd of March. Boy, howdy, was there some backlash on this.
It does not deserve it either.
It does. I don't think it deserves
100% does.
No.
Okay,
when RoboCop
yeah.
and Point Break came out and they didn't receive this amount of hate.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
This is a lot of vitriolic
I think
hate.
I'm sure we'll delve into this a little bit more, but the 4 women thing incites a lot of hate from bigots as is.
Definitely.
But I do think, looking beyond that, because it's not something I particularly care about, it was just a bad trailer.
Yeah, I'll admit that.
It was a bad trailer. But I think, obviously, the sexist stuff has caught the most attention and flack in the news, and I would like to read some of my
you've got some
favourite comments.
select comments.
So, Daryl Dixon of
Well,
Walking
we've got. Oh God! Oh my God!
But spelt wrong, it's spelt D-E-R-L-E, so Daryl Dixon.
Daryl Dixon
says that women ruin everything. That got
God.
1 like.
Oh God!
Warhog 419 says, this looks worse than the steaming pile of crap I imagined it to be, and I have an 8-foot tall painting of Virgo in my basement, so as a fan I can wholeheartedly say f*** you Sony and f*** you Paul Feig.
Oh wow! This is some real hate.
Feminists just fucked my childhood,
God.
which is a bit ironic in the wording of that one.
If Ghostbusters was the most important thing to your childhood, you have bigger issues.
Yeah.
It's 1 good movie and 1 bad one already.
Did Tumblr write this film?
This is going to be accompanied by every comment you read out. It's just me going, "Oh God!"
Here we are, lady scientists. Isn't the ghost-busting concept imaginative enough?
Jesus Christ!
Don't worry, Annabelle just turned into like a demon at that point.
I got 2 more.
got 2 more.
3 more.
Oh my God!
Why is Terry Crews in drag?
Oh God! That's so awful! What the fuck? What the actual fuck? What?
These are the last 2 I've reserved my absolute
You've
favourites.
reserved your favourites for last.
Austin says, I'm not sexist or anything,
that's a
but
good start
women
to a
ruined...
sentence.
That's a qualifier.
That's always a good start, of course.
I'm not sexist or anything, but women ruined this movie and should go back and not be allowed to vote.
What the fuck? I'm not sexist or anything, but proceeds to say extremely sexist comment. What the fuck?
But I think my favourite one is Harold Ramis, please stop making this movie. He's dead.
Oh my. I'll appreciate this film for the fact that it's... I'm appreciating this film for the fact that it's putting 4 women as a lead in a film where it's very controversial to do so. Yeah. However, I will say that also that the trailer does not look good.
There are bits
it does
that
not
I like.
there are bits that I think
shite.
I think it's got a lot of vitriolic hate. It just looks like a very mediocre movie.
If it wasn't
it's not
Ghostbusters,
awful.
it would be just kind of
Yeah,
passed
it would
off.
be a lot-
Ghostbusters does have such a
Cult following.
Yeah,
What's
it
that?
speaks volumes that 22,340,956 people have viewed this at the
Yeah.
time of our recording.
Yeah.
394,898 people have downvoted this on
Yeah.
YouTube. That is huge
It's a hell of a
numbers.
lot.
Yeah.
Unreal. Never seen
Yeah.
anything like it.
It's pretty unbelievable. Well, except for like Friday.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
That's like that's a meme. That's a meme to downvote that is, right, guys?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm totally getting that right. Top
it
memes.
seems that the cult following of Ghostbusters just has such a bad reaction, and I can understand, but it seems to be 50-50 between women shouldn't have done this and the more reasonable this is just a mediocre looking trailer.
I'm okay.
So
I'm
I
okay
think
with
the
people
word
thinking
cult
that.
following
Yeah.
is a misspelling.
I'm okay with like people. I'm obviously okay with people saying it's a meh trailer, but I will argue for just so long against the people who are like, "Oh, women. That's what's making it meh." What the f*** are you thinking? Saying women's
See-
making it meh?
Yeah.
What went through your brain to connect like a meh trailer? Only women can make things bad. Sorry, I'm really angry about that.
It's completely
It's
justified.
understandable. I mean, personally for me, the women thing doesn't bother me. Like, it can still be good with women in it. It's the fact that it's not, but it's not necessarily because of the women. It's just because whoever edited this trailer, what I reckon was the trailer editing house that made this, they all went off and they left the interns to do this. Because it's really bad. I am of the opinion that it doesn't need to be all women for the sake of being all women. It could have very equally have been a mixed team
it could have
of
very
male
equally,
and
but it
male
is-
and females. And I do think a part of me does think they went in with the pitch Ghostbusters, but it must be women. They didn't.
But I think it's quite a big thing that it's all women. I think that's, for me, like, it's obviously you can say like they should mix things up, but there's been sort of an evolution in like women rising up as main characters and as stronger main characters. Not that I'm saying that Ghostbusters, I don't know how, like, I can't say with representation wise whether they'll be strong characters or not just yet. However, there's been a rise in that, and it's nice to see like full representation of women in like major roles. I don't know how to phrase it right.
I do think there's something to be said on that argument for the fact that if you want women in strong, independent filmic roles that are, stand out as being built for the individual woman as a person themselves rather than an object or a plot point, the argument could be made, just don't superimpose them over 4 previous male characters. Like, they've got these 4 characters with these 4 attributes. There's Egon the nerd, Winston the blue-collar man who's just come and worked for them as a job, Venkman the kind of comic, and Raymond. So what they've done is they've gone 4 women, so what we're going to do is take these 4 characters that were previously men and just reform them for some women. Like, why not give these 4 good female
not
actors a
particularly original
fresh franchise that they can make their own thing rather than
That would be nice.
superimposing them over a previously established not only franchise but repertoire of characters? Because you watch this, they are practically beat for beat cutouts of the previous.
That's where I take issue with it over anything.
That's the main issue as well for me. Like, the sort of lazy. It feels a bit lazy. Like, you just sort of copied the original Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
I really like Kate McKinnon though.
Yeah,
And there are bits in there which, like, the licking the guns and the wink and things. It's like she's playing it kind of differently, wild card style.
I think Kate McKinnon's character is the most original in here, in that she seems to have taken Egon and Venkman and linked the 2 together, but the rest of them do seem to just be beat for beat cutouts of the previous lot.
I feel like that's going to be studio over like Paul Feig. They're more like, well, people like Ghostbusters because it's this.
I think the debate about women can go round and round in circles, and the only thing that remains to be seen is how they perform in the movie. We can't say anything about that from the trailer. But that being said, I have absolutely no faith in this movie, purely because the opening text walls that came up 30 years ago, 4 scientists save New York. Okay.
Right.
It's 3 scientists and a blue-collar worker who just came and worked for them because he needed a job. You got your Ghostbusters history wrong. 2, it says this summer a new team will answer the call, and it seems to be implying that this takes place in the same universe, that these people are continuing on.
They're taking up the mantle.
Yeah, but what they fail to specify is that it's an entirely different universe. These are the first Ghostbusters in this respective universe. So already in the first 30 seconds of the trailer, they've established that there are several things wrong with this. And then you go in and you go, oh man, what's this? No way. There's a ghost in the library. I wonder where we've seen that before. I would also like to mention that this ghost looks worse than the one that came out in the 80s. It doesn't fit in the scene. It's got
to be unfinished CGI at this point.
I hope that's unfinished CGI because it's tragic. It looks like the bloody Scooby-Doo movies from the early 2000s.
It really does. That's what it reminds me of.
Those were good for the time, but it's now 2016.
James Gunn is doing better things now.
Yeah, you go straight in with a ghost in a library, the ectoplasm on them, which is exactly the beginning of the original Ghostbusters. So this goes on from my point of the characters being almost beat-for-beat cutouts. It seems that far, at least, that the plot is a beat for, and I just think there was so much more room. When I first heard about this, I had high hopes, and I thought they can do so much with this. Like, they can take it any direction they want. I was just sorely disappointed. There has since, though, been an international trailer come out that is far more succinct. It's tighter. It's more humorous. It's witty, and it almost seems like this one went out and they went, oh my god, right, whoever
what have we done?
Like, get someone to actually make this trailer and do it well.
They're just like, oh god, it turns out that the interns were not as good as we thought
they
they
weren't
were.
as good as we thought. Who knew? They came in on their
Who
first
knew? Name
day.
of the podcast.
Yeah. So yeah, they've very, very rapidly launched this trailer, and it does look much better, but just the tragedy of the first one really.
It's kind of brought it down.
Yeah, it's really brought it down a notch for me. But I think that's all we can really say upon that matter.
Should we go into Daisy Ridley?
Yes, so we'll now move into the Daily Ridley, which is our not quite daily, in fact it's weekly, talk about anything and everything Star Wars. This week, something interesting came up. J.J. Abrams has apologised, although I don't know really why he needs to apologise for it, for what he considers to be his biggest mistake in The Force Awakens in the final release cut. And that was, for those of you who have seen it, spoiler alert, after Han Solo is killed, Chewbacca and Rey and Finn go back to the Rebel base where Leia is waiting for them, and Chewie walks right past Leia in a rush to get Finn to the infirmary, and it is left that Rey and Leia share this moment where they hug and seem to share mourning for Han. But JJ now emphasises that he wishes that had been Chewie because of the deep connection that Chewie and Leia have.
That would have been really nice.
With Han, it would have made sense. And even when I watched it, I did think those two made no contact.
It would have been so much more poignant, at least, to show Chewie.
Yeah, and Leia hug and kind of share that moment. But they don't acknowledge each other. And you would have thought, like JJ says, they are the two most deeply connected to Han. So, yeah, it's still a nice moment. It worked. Admittedly, when I watched it, I did note, I was like, Chewie.
Yeah, I noted that
kind
Chewie's
of rushed
gone. Where's
off.
he gone?
Yeah, where did he go? But it's not that big of a deal.
Abrams is kind of his biggest critic anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
He'll like Star Trek Into Darkness and Super 8, he said they had plot problems.
He said he needed to apologise for this, but there's been no backlash or outcry against it. So I think it is just him, like anybody does when they make something, they get the final result back of an essay or a film and they go, that could have been a bit better. So
just being a perfectionist. Okay.
Exactly. But it's just a short and sweet Daily Ridley this week. That's all we've got. So we shall now move into our main topic for the week, which is continuing our brief talk on Batman vs Superman and expanding into this and the larger DC movie universe that they're setting up as a whole.
First thing, pre-sale tickets. It's tracking for I think 100 to 140 million in its opening weekend, and
that's a lot.
Sold 300 million plus already in just kind of
a lot.
General tickets, which is
oh boy.
That's quite a lot. I think that shows the impact of having both of the characters.
Yeah.
Like I doubt a Man of Steel 2 would have done that.
No, definitely not. But you've you've got DC's two big boys. I do think especially Batman's mainstream popularity at the moment, to introduce him into it for the first time, is going to get people interested. I honestly do think Batman is more of a pull than Superman.
Yeah.
And then you clash those together.
Batman's got his dark, gritty side. Oh,
yeah.
So dark and gritty, guys. Go watch it. This is what DC wants you to watch.
Dark and gritty. Is he crying? No, he's just got grit in his eyes. Is
he crying? No, it's just a blue filter put over everything.
People are starting to see the movie as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Anthony Breznikan, I'm probably butchering the last name, but he was like the main guy at Entertainment Weekly who was in contact with LucasArts or Lucasfilms and kept having like the exclusives and things. And he said, if you like Man of Steel, you'll like this. If you hated Man of Steel, you'll hate this.
Well, I'm gonna hate this.
Yeah.
If you liked Man of Steel, except for the Zod snapping bit, you may find that this improves that for you based on what it does with that.
Okay,
no, I just liked Man of Steel because it went on for way too long.
Yeah, there's a good movie in there, but
it needs to be at least half an hour shorter.
He said there's a few surprises as well.
Ooh.
Is it more surprise villains?
Is it more surprise villains and or heroes? Is it more graffiti, bloody ha ha ha, you killed your family?
Now he's got a tattoo on his cheek that says, I'm really, really damaged, I promise. And the other one that says, look, I've got tattoos. And on his chin he's got, that means I'm damaged.
And then on his forehead he's got follow me on Tumblr. His Tumblr URL is rain can't hide my tears. Ha 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 ha.
Because rain can't hide my tears was already taken.
Yeah. Oh dear.
They're starting to do press for it, and it's like talking about certain characters which are in the movie, which probably
characters.
We probably shouldn't go too far into that because it hasn't been officially confirmed.
We all know Wonder Woman is coming in,
and then Aquaman.
Yeah, but then the other characters mentioned in that sentence.
Mentioned that sentence that I'm reading right now on Entertainment Weekly.
Aquaman is said to be more of a cameo than anything else, and then there's rumours of.
Should we say the rumour?
Milk. Which one?
Green.
I think he's been deconfirmed.
Oh, okay. So Green Lantern's not in it.
Yeah. Well, he's apparently not showing up until Justice League Part 2.
They're losing it a while since the last film.
That would make would make a lot of sense. Oh, and the Flash, isn't he meant to crop up at some point?
Yeah.
He's the Running Man.
I think if we go any further than that, it gives probably quite a big bit away, which hasn't been fully explained.
I do think, though, if they are going to be in this film, you're cramming too much in. You name a superhero film after two superheroes, you should keep it at that.
Yeah. The main focus and the main conflict should be between, as is advertised, Batman
it should be
and
what
Superman.
It says on the tin.
Instead of what it seems to be, is Batman and Superman fight for a bit, then it turns out there's an even bigger thing, and then they team up.
Yeah, and then they're mates.
With Wonder Woman.
Yeah. Which I don't think any of us were not expecting them to work out the differences.
Oh, yeah.
Being told why they're doing it is the issue that we have with it.
And you've seen, like, so many films, Spider-Man 3, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, where it's been oversaturated, and I fear just as they're on the precipice of launching into a wider universe that they're going to slip up because they're cramming too much in. I do think, and I hope, and there's nothing to say it won't go that way. We've seen Wonder Woman, but it doesn't say she might just crop up and disappear again very quickly.
Well, I doubt that
it should be what it says on the posters.
I have faith in Chris Terrio being brought in to rewrite it. I kind of feel like if Ben Affleck was still unhappy with it, he would have fought and they would have agreed with whatever he said.
Yeah.
By comparison, apparently Suicide Squad sequel is going to be filmed in 2017 if they can get the cast locked down again.
Oh, wow.
Whoever survives.
Yeah. But essentially, this is their first step into a wider, more detailed, more Marvel competitive universe.
It won't sink the ship if it's bad. It's gonna do well financially anyway. If it's making 350 million, it's made back its budget and then quite a fair chunk of the marketing.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's got Batman in it, and everybody's gonna go see Batman.
Yeah, everyone will see another Batman film. It's in its own month because it was going to clash with Civil War, and very wisely they moved it, which is absolutely what they should have done.
There's nothing to get in the way of it making money.
Yeah, it will make money. That being said, there's always the possibility, as with any film though, that it's going to be disappointing, but
we don't want it to be. Obviously.
Yeah, we don't. No, of course not. We don't want it to be at all, because I want to see this larger universe begin on a strong foothold. But if it does slip up and fail, there's still the money there, because there definitely will be, no doubt in my mind, and the time to correct their mistakes and keep ploughing on, because we got Suicide Squad coming out in the same year.
That's not getting pushed back.
Yeah, it's not like there's a big gap in the slate that people are going to forget about it. It's going to still be in the limelight. They're still pushing. So I think regardless of what happens, we will see good things.
Wonder Woman's going to stay in that month because...
When's that? June 2017?
That's like the month. That's the month after Guardians, and I think the month before Ragnarok.
Okay.
That can't really move because that is their big summer movie.
Also, I feel like if they move Wonder Woman around, they could get quite a bit of backlash.
It depends how they move it around.
Yeah, it depends on how they move it
Captain
around.
Marvel got pushed back for Spider-Man, and no one batted an eye, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
everybody loves Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Your friendly neighbourhood Spider-Man.
The bits that we've seen from Wonder Woman are interesting. The idea that it's going World War I setting.
Oh yes, I'm very excited for that because I do enjoy a period action piece. Like, I really enjoyed the first Captain America film because it was World War II, and I love that whole oof, yes, America.
Yeah.
And there's very few World War One films in popular culture.
Atonement, the one with James McAvoy and the relationship.
Like, there are some, but it's not really penetrated the popular
Yeah, because it was the great and tragic war.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas bloody World War II, mate, it's got all the room for
so many
cool stuff.
Yeah.
The Snyderisms in the Wonder Woman footage had me a little worried, but like this kind of like the slow-mo and the sepia, but I feel like that's...
I know I'm going to be annoyed by by the DC filters, but that's okay. I'll put up with it for everything else.
Flash has got to be different, surely. With
I
Miller,
bet they're going to put on a yellowy filter, right?
With Miller and Lord on it, there's no way that it's not going to be bright and colourful, surely.
I hope it is. That would mean that it would probably bump up massively for me.
Of all of the ones here, Flash has the potential to be the colourful one, and I do think maybe Shazam as well.
To a degree.
I love Shazam.
Flash has kind of dark times, like Flashpoint, which...
Yes,
because they've cast Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Lauren Cohen as Bruce's parents, you don't hire them for like a 2-minute scene where they die.
Yeah.
You've got them there in case you want to do something like Flashpoint, which is Barry runs so fast, timeline changes, and his mother becomes the Joker and his dad is the Bat...
Bruce's parents, just to clarify.
Flashpoint. And etc.
If you don't want to read the comics, there's a great animated film about it.
I think the animated film's better.
I started watching
I prefer the comics personally, but it's really good. It's a really good story as well, highly enjoyable. But I think it's got the most potential to be the colourful one of it.
Also, something that I've just noticed in the EW article is the fact that the Ben Affleck Batman film's on there.
Yes,
I didn't realise that was officially
undated.
confirmed.
Yeah, it's been Ben Affleck directed and starring Batman film, which is a wise move.
Yeah, I think he's writing. Is he writing, or is I think Geoff Johns is involved as like the big DC guy who kind of has his fingers in everything.
He's got his fingers in every part.
Not the Shazam kids though. Not got his fingers in there.
Yeah, I feel like I should mention Shazam does sound like a sponge.
Yeah.
So I don't actually know of Shazam the hero, so I'm imagining a sponge.
It's really good. It's one of my favourites in how it's quite a unique one because he's essentially a kid who is granted the power through when he says Shazam, who turns into a fully adult superhero.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah, it is. It's really, really cool. I've read a few, but I've not really got into it. But when they do Rebirth, I think I will jump on Shazam fully because...
Jump right on him.
Because I like that. But I think Shazam is the one I'm most looking forward to on there as a solo film.
Yeah, Aquaman has James Wan, the director of The Conjuring and one of the Sinister movies, I think.
Okay, I've never seen it. I don't watch horror films, so I can't.
It's like interesting pick, but at the same time, if they're going for some of the stuff from Geoff Johns' run, then it fits. Also, like that run kind of proved to everyone Aquaman could be badass.
Was that the one where he comes on land and everyone's like, "What are you doing here, mate? Like, what are you doing here?" And then he like throws a tank or something.
Yeah, it's like with the Throne of Atlantis and things like that.
That's a good right because he comes on land and everybody's kind of mocking him like you're bloody Aquaman. You're a superhero. Sucks. Even though Aquaman can go toe to toe with Superman, so he's really cool. I love Aquaman.
I want to call him Mermaid Man
and Barnacle Boy. Unite!
That blood-curdling scream.
Oh man, I love Mermaid Man.
Yeah.
Green
More
Lantern
than
Corps.
Aquaman.
Yeah, Green Lantern Corps is one I'm interested in because the 2011 Ryan Reynolds...
The 2011
Green
car
Lantern,
crash.
was a absolute car crash / train wreck. It was terrible, so understandably they've kind of slated that as the last one that's been given a confirmed date for 2020. But I do think it's also a wise move to reboot it and get it into this universe because Green Lantern is a really interesting character. So I'm curious to see what they'll do with that.
Cyborg's an interesting one, just because there hasn't been that much with Cyborg. Like, he's part of the Teen Titans.
Teen Titans!
I think...
Yes.
Yeah, I think he got his first solo run last year.
You know who to call. But yeah,
Yay!
solo run.
A nice little.
He's part of the Justice League now and has been for 5 years.
Been for a long while because he's quite a underappreciated character, even by me, who is someone who's a fan of comic books. So I'm really interested to see what they can bring to the table with a Cyborg movie. His origin is quite an interesting one as well. So I'd be curious to see that played out on screen as well.
We know that Ray Fisher's in Batman vs Superman.
Oh, so Cyborg's going to appear in that as well.
I don't think he'll be Cyborg.
Oh, so he'll be pre-Cyborg Cyborg.
And it'll maybe an accident or something.
Okay.
But it may not necessarily show what happens to him.
I don't know.
I feel like it might be a passing mention or something.
A lot into
Batman
versus
they're trying
Superman.
to bloody slam too much in there. Look at all this stuff we've
got
planned.
We're planning for all of these things. We're planning for Wonder Woman, we're planning for Flash, Aquaman, Cyborg. We're planning for all of these things. Look at this, we're building up to everything. It's like you should do it one by one.
Yeah, you only need a press release to tell us this stuff, mate. You don't need to put it all in the first film. The DC universe that they're setting up, whilst Batman vs Superman's a bit up in the air at this point, the rest of it does seem to have had a lot of thought and promise put into it, and they seem to be taking some risks that could work out well, like Wonder Woman, one of the first female solo movies. They're taking it all the way back to World War One, which is a relatively unexplored area. They're bringing in Cyborg, who's a relatively untouched character. They're bringing back Green Lantern, who has had a past that is not that strong. Aquaman, who's a character who is almost the laughing stock of the DC universe. Shazam, again, a character who's not really touched on much.
Who sounds like a sponge.
Yeah, I just think at least on paper this has got a lot of promise, and I'm so excited to finally see DC kicking off their world and playing catch up with Marvel. And I so hope and want Batman vs Superman to be amazing. I want to kick open the door and be like, get out the way, Marvel! We're here!
The thing about it is that we've known about this movie for 3 years, and so I just want to see it now.
Yeah, I want to
get it over and done with so I can at least know if it's crap or not.
Not necessarily that, but it's more like I've heard so much and now I'm starting to hear more. I'd rather just see it with it this close.
Yeah,
but in the position that we're in, we have to kind of be aware of it.
Yeah, we have to look into all this news, which is the one downside of doing this. But it's around the corner, and I've always said I'm cautiously optimistic about this, but the closer it's getting and the promise of the upcoming schedule, I'm buzzing for this. I'm so excited. But
you're getting more hype.
I'm buzzing for this not because I have like 100% faith in it, but because the plan that they have laid out is so exciting that I'm just like, come on, man.
I feel like the way that they've gone through it and worked out their slate, that they must know what they need to do in each one. Not necessarily like everyone's in everyone's movie, but they kind of know where they need to get to at that point. Where they need to go
and to knit it together.
Yeah. Even if it is like a brief setup, like if, for example, it shows Ray Fisher just at a football game or something, it's like, oh, hey, here he is.
He's in this universe.
Yeah, maybe it's just like a quick cutaway or something during Bruce and Diana talking, maybe.
Yeah.
Like that's okay. That's not overstuffing the movie, in my opinion.
Yeah, as long as, there's a difference between overstuffing and kind of gently being
if they went, oh, that guy's a cyborg on the field. Look at the way his arm mechanically throws the balls. He could do a lot more with that arm if it was to have a cannon, for example. I mean, I'm just spitballing.
Look at that guy over there. God damn. His hoodie, Shazam.
That kid's going to be something when he grows up. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Hey, Alfred! Al Godot isn't the normal idea of attractiveness. I wonder if she's a woman.
I wonder if she's a woman. Incredible. That was
my
beautiful.
God.
Oh, God.
I really think they've got a handle on this, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm especially looking forward to this. The full body shot of the Robin costume. He's got bloody shorts. Look at that! Look at that! Look at that
package.
Yeah, look at that package. Bloody hell.
He doesn't have the dick arrow. This is the best thing ever.
He's packing
Dick
heat.
Grayson.
Like a bloody terror Robin.
There was that rumor that it was Dick Grayson. I was going to be very mad. Because Dick Grayson is best Batman.
So I'm bloody excited to see that Robin in shorts with his little booties. So I would love to see a Dick Grayson film. Give me a Dick Grayson film. Give me a dick.
I was about to say, give Harry the dick.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because I want to see a bloody Nightwing, and then I'd love to see him take up the Batman mantle later on. Also, I would love to see a We Are Robin adaptation, if you've read that. Because that is a very good book. All the Robins come together. There's like kids on the street taking up the Robin mantle. So I think we'll wrap up there. That's just a little kind of insight and our thoughts on the upcoming Batman vs Superman film and the upcoming DC movie universe as a whole.
Come back to it in like 3 weeks.
Yeah, we'll come back to it just before. We'll definitely come back to it when the film is out, because we'll have a little chat about it. So yeah, that brings us to the end of our main topic for this week. We now go into our letters section.
I forgot any.
No.
Apparently you guys got one last week.
Yeah, we did.
You got one which I could have answered.
Yeah, come on then.
Go for
what
it.
anime and mangas do you recommend? We're bloody reeling out the same letter
Alright,
again.
we're going to reel out the same letter.
Yeah,
we're going to
let's
ask
do
me.
it.
Alright, I'm going to recommend some really fluffy rubbish. My favourite anime is Skippy, because it's terrible and I watch it when I'm feeling ill. It's really fluffy. Me and Beth are having this discussion that we just love watching fluffy rubbish. Manga-wise, I don't know what I'd recommend. I just tend to pick up things, read them for a bit, and then just be like, I'm done. You guys are just whipping out your phone as soon as I start to.
I was trying to find it.
Oh, you're trying to find it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious. What is
you're
this?
Skippy.
What's it about? Yeah.
Skippy is about it's about a girl who moves with a guy from her hometown and has been like, I don't know, friends with him, I'd say. Sort of, I guess friends with him, but also sort of weirdly like working for him in a way. Like, he was a prick. He was an utter prick, and she moved with him to the big city, and he became. I'm really passionate about this. He got famous, and he started banging his assistant. It was all really weird, and she thought they were together. He was like, I hate her, but at least she cooks and cleans for me. And she was like, damn, and threw a burger at him. And
damn, Daniel.
No memes.
No memes here. Forbidden. But she threw a burger at him and then decided to get famous to spite him. And that's what she did. And it reflects me as a person.
There's a reason to get famous.
I feel like that reflects me as a person, because the reason I do anything is to spite people.
Oh, so you can relate to this.
So I can truly relate to this. I'm like, no, you go, girl, spite people and do things.
Okay, so there you go. The great Skip D.
Skip D? What are you talking about? You got the name wrong. Yeah, Skip Beat.
Skip Beat. Oh, I don't know. I'm not a fan of Chinese cartoons, so.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That was.
You can't just completely deadpan that.
Oh man, so that's last week's letter that we got. Let's go into our weekly recommendations section, where we tell you all the things we've been doing, reading and watching at the moment, to give you some recommendations and kind of catch you up to speed on what's going on. So who wants to jump in first?
Right, so what I've been watching is RuPaul's Drag Race Season 8 Episode 1. You guys don't want me to talk about this, but I've been watching it, so I'm going to. It was pretty damn good. It was really sad who left. I'm not going to spoil it for anyone that's a fan of the show.
It was me.
It was Harry. Harry left.
It was just a phase.
But yes, it was a pretty good episode. It was much better than the opening episode of Season 7, so it's a definite reassurance there. Now, what other things have I been doing? I have been coming forth in magic things. I've been reading more about magic, and I've been looking at magic things. That's basically all I've been doing. I got my dad emailing me about my bank statements because I've spent so much on magic things. He's like, has someone stolen your card and started purchasing other things? Get it together. I'm like, no. It's just all I do. I don't go out.
I play magic.
Yeah, I play a lot of magic.
It's under control, Dad. Don't worry.
Don't worry, I'm budgeting. And by budgeting, I mean I'm not eating.
Yeah. Oh, dear.
So yes,
I've been watching Freaks and Geeks, which is a show from Paul Feig of Ghostbusters infamy.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Okay.
It's kind of presented as like this comedy drama, but I don't find myself laughing because it feels real. I didn't live in the 80s. but I have vicariously lived through them.
Yeah.
It's the same experiences. Oh god, it's so silly.
Yeah. And then, what did I read recently? I didn't read anything recently.
Oh, okay,
We'll edit this bit out.
Yeah. Well, I have been watching a fair couple of things. I've been catching up on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Well,
good choice.
Not catching up so much as watching streams from America, so I'm way ahead of E4 over here. Bloody brilliant, as always. I've also been catching up on The Goldbergs, which is a American sitcom. I don't know if it's really caught traction over here, but it's about a Jewish family in the 80s, just life in an American suburb in the 80s, so I'm living vicariously in the 80s as well.
Maybe I gotta pick up something 80s related.
Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know, it's not a great show, but it's nice to watch.
It's a comfortable show.
Yeah, it's comfy, cozy comfy. I enjoy it a lot. And so that's what I've been watching. Oh no, I tell you what, getting a bit emotional. I watched sorry,
you gotta move around for this.
I've been crying a lot this week.
Oh my, what have you been watching?
I'm a big Amy Winehouse fan.
Okay.
I finally got around to watching Amy, the documentary that won the Oscar. It killed me. I was a mess, just a sobbing, racking, nervous mess. And it's such a beautiful, well-crafted piece of filmmaking that is intriguing, and you cannot stop watching. It's delightful, but it is also incredibly disturbing at the same time. You really see just how awful her life was and how much she went through. Yeah, it really hit, especially because I'm such a big fan of her music, and I have been for a while. My dad introduced it to me when I was relatively young, and I liked how it sounded. That's about it. I never really understood the deeper meaning, and as I grew up I thought, oh no, these are really good kind of deep lyrics, but now I understand that they were exactly what she was feeling. She was crying for help so publicly, yet no one would help her, and it's just tragic. And I'm now at an age where I can fully understand and to some degree empathise, because I've been through like proper shit in my life, and I'm struggling at uni at the moment, and I've got people who look out for me and make sure I'm okay, and I'm like, I wish someone could have done the same for her, because she just needed someone, and like the world lost such a talent with her. Like, I've been waiting for someone to come along with the same draw power and the same talent for jazz singing that she had, and it's never come along. So yeah, I watched that. I've got all emotional now. Yeah, it really got to me. So I've been listening to her albums again, and I can't get through them without crying. I highly suggest, even if you're not an Amy Winehouse fan, the film in itself is an amazing piece of documentary filmmaking, and it makes me like, I want to make documentaries. That's what I want to do. So to look at that and go, like, this is the exact kind of film I want to make. And there is, even as a non-fan, there is something wrong with you if you do not get like emotionally affected by this film. It's unbelievable.
Your reaction's kind of the same one I had to Spotlight, in that I walked out of that and felt unclean.
It's
because of how kind of raw it is, and it doesn't.
Yeah, there's no holds barred. Big fan. So that's, I've been kind of getting my Amy Winehouse thing back on. It's sadness, and gonna try and bring it back to some happy stuff. I also, happy aside, I've been getting back into Paolo Nutini as a singer. Very good. He's good. Happy. New Shoes is my favourite one of his. Highly recommend that if you give it a YouTube. What have I been reading? I have been reading nothing special, just some more Spider-Man. I've been rereading Superior Spider-Man and carrying on with my rereading of The Walking Dead. So yeah, Spider-Man, Superior Spider-Man rather, is a fantastic run. Something you never thought they could have gotten away with, but it works so well.
I remember seeing when that idea kind of leaked that Doc Ock was taking over.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, we can't have this.
But it's a masterful piece of comic book writing. Absolutely brilliant. So that's what I've been doing, basically making myself sad. So that brings us to the end of the show for another week. Thank you all for listening. We are Who Knew. We go out on CSRfm every Monday from 6 till 7 PM GMT. Then we upload the full show afterwards as a podcast to iTunes and YouTube. You can find us on iTunes by searching Who Knew. Don't forget to leave us a review and subscribe. That really helps us get noticed and climb the charts. And you can find us on YouTube by searching Who Knew Podcast. You can also find us online on Facebook and Twitter by searching Who Knew Pod on those respective sites. Us three hosts are also on Twitter. You can find me at BTDoobs. That's BTDOOBZ. You can find Matthew at
Matt_Sibley.
And you can find Annabelle at...
Don't even bother.
Of course, don't forget you can contact us here at the show via email at whoknewpod@gmail.com. We highly encourage you to email us in and give us some correspondence because we're bloody recycling letters that are a week old. If you forget any of that ridiculously long list of links, just remember you can find all of this information and more on our official website, www.whoknew.podbean.com. Thank you for listening, guys. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.